Hello and welcome back to Turf Morehouse TV. Yes, I do need a shave. Yes, I still am an ugly bugger. But that's not the point. We're here because we're celebrating a fantastic bloody point against Chelsea. What a cracking performance. I mean, we held off the opening 5 minutes. It was literally Chelsea this, Chelsea that. We could have been 4-0 down at half time. But typical Burnley rode the wave and finally caught Chelsea napping, and Chelsea conceded their first goal from open play this season. If you're wondering why my eyes keep dissecting, it is because Burnley's under-23s have currently just kicked off as well against Fulham. So I will be keeping you updated on that. Fulham have had the ball in the back of the net, but it was ruled out for offside. So thank you for tuning in. It does mean a lot that you're here. If you are new around here, please do hit the subscribe button. It really does mean a lot for the channel. We are also on all social media, as you can see down there, on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all under the same name at Turf Morehouse. We have also delved into the world of podcasts. Would you believe it? So you can also listen to us instead of watching us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. So without further ado, let's bring in our guest. And obviously, we have Joey's back.
All right, Paul.
Joey's back. He's hiding in a bunker in the middle of Saudi Arabia somewhere. Not a clue. But how are you, mate? How are you?
Good, mate. Good. Yourself?
Good stuff. Yeah, I'm smashing. Absolutely smashing. And glad to get a point on the board. I mean,
Definitely.
fantastic result, weren't it? Definitely.
Off the game. That was brilliant. We just get on the screen so easy.
It's always nice, isn't it? It's always nice. And obviously for Josh, you'll all remember Josh. Josh came in for obviously our match preview, and Josh is a Chelsea fan. Bit of a double whammy for you, Josh. Obviously, Glenavon wasn't to be, and Chelsea also didn't live up to the hype either. I mean, first of all, how are you? And why don't you give your channel a plug and stuff?
I was gonna on Saturday try and play like Burnley. Yeah, there was like the worst version of Burnley possible. Like it was the most like we weren't defensively good, and my God, we couldn't even hit a long ball properly. And in terms of Chelsea, I hate Burnley. It's Burnley like Stamford Bridge. I hate Burnley coming to Stamford Bridge. That's probably the best way to sum that up in a nutshell. But I don't doing too bad. My YouTube channel is CFC, and my Twitter is JWSH_CFC if anybody's interested.
Smashing. And Joey, obviously you run a Facebook page as well and a bit on Twitter, so let us know what you do as well.
Yeah, just on Facebook. It's the Longside group and a page. I don't really do it on Twitter, to be fair. It's just myself on Twitter. So, yeah,
happy days. That means he can be an arsehole on Twitter. That's what it is. He can just be his normal self on Twitter. But no, thanks guys for tuning in. Obviously, we are going to dissect the game. I mean, first of all, Josh, I'll come to you. Your thoughts on that game? I mean, to start with, your team constantly pelted shot after shot. You know, Nick Pope's not been in the best vein of form, to be honest. And he's only recently in his last game or two where he's actually decided to step up. And obviously at the Bridge was where he's probably put on his best in recent performances. I mean, it was a bit of a bad time for yourself.
Just typical. A player's in bad form. They come to play Chelsea, and next thing they're the best player, and they're probably the best player in the world. Nothing was playing. Nick Pope was exceptional. I'll be honest. I was slightly disappointed. I wasn't happy with Ross Barkley starting. Ross Barkley. I don't know why we still have this. I don't get me wrong. Actually, I think Ross Barkley played well. To be fair to him, but why do we still have this guy at our football club? You think about all these attacking players to signed, and you got Ross Barkley coming in the starting lineup. Like, hello, I'm still here. I wasn't happy with him starting. We had, we had Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Mason Mount and Christian Pulisic all on the bench. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi did play well, but Hudson-Odoi definitely had a few chances he should have scored. Christensen and Rudiger had some decent chances from set pieces, which we should have tested. Nick Pope a bit better from. Kai Havertz, he took his goal well, but I think overall was slightly disappointing in terms of not being in the right position at the right time. I think that would have been the game where we needed like Lukaku or Timo Werner, which Unfortunately, we don't, which I think that just didn't give us the cutting edge. But our overall general play was amazing. I thought we created really chances. We did let Burnley kind of be able to sit in their shape. We moved them about. We created chances. It just wasn't to be. Nick Pope was in outstanding form. I think the front three, as a front three, especially with Ross Barkley, these guys aren't playing regularly at the moment. Hudson-Odoi's been in and out. He's been right wing back. He's been left wing, white wing. Havertz has been in and out of the team, and Ross Barkley, as I said, I don't even know why he's still at this club. That kind of sums it all. So Chelsea got what they deserved. The performance was completely fine. But in situations like that, if you don't take your chances in these games and you give a club like Burnley the opportunity to score those goals, then it happens. So it's tough to take. It's annoying to take. But it's been a story of Chelsea's last 2 seasons where we've created chance after chance and just haven't been able to stick it back in the net. And unfortunately, the players that I feel like could have scored, like a Mason Mount, a Loftus-Cheek, Timo Werner, and Lukaku, they weren't on the pitch. So it sucks, but it's football, and I hate Burnley. I'll keep saying it. Every time they come, I remember there was 2 seasons ago when under Maurizio Sarri, exactly the same story happened. That we were dominant, and then I think it was Ashley Barnes scored in the 80th minute to get a draw. I just hate you guys. Stop coming to Stamford Bridge. I don't like it. You always get something.
Well, I'll tell you something now. I'll put your mind at ease, mate. Right? There's a stat. Now you say you hate Burnley, but technically, when results like this happen, something happens for Chelsea, and it's this. Yes. Correct. 14-15, you drew. You won the league. 16-17, you drew and won the league. 2021 to 22 season. Who knows? I mean, it's there, isn't it? Does lightning strike 3 times? It certainly struck twice, so why not a third?
It is absolutely possible. That's the thing that really kind of annoyed me. Like, we chant on 5 points top of the league, going into this international break. Of course, you guys screwed it up on us. But that's probably the thing that slightly annoys. We're going to be 5 points clear of Manchester City going into this international break, which would give us a bit of that leniency to kind of drop points, especially with a really bad run coming in terms of really tough fixtures that we have to play coming up here. So, but I'm optimistic. We've got a good squad. We've got a very, very good squad. Players are going to be coming back after the international break. I think pretty much everyone's going to be fully fit, which is absolutely tremendous. But I'm not going to get too hyped because I don't want to get all excited, build up, and then next minute Chelsea going 5 straight games without a win. Chelsea fans have been calling for Thomas Tuchel out, and things can change so quickly in football. So my feet's firmly on the ground. But yes, I'm very pleased with the start that we've had so far.
So I'll come to you in a second, Joey. But last question I've got for you, Josh, at this point is, obviously, it must be a bit of a sucker punch when you see Liverpool drop points away at West Ham. You expect City to obviously probably do something. It was basically a 50-50 game against United because you don't know what United you're going to get this season. So to sort of drop 2 points, do you think that was a bit of a sucker punch?
I think in a manner, yes. If Chelsea didn't play well and we didn't particularly perform on the day, then I could perfectly accept that result. But I think it was one of those cases where Chelsea. They played well. They did everything what they needed to do. There's been a lot of criticism from probably off. Of some of the previous games that we weren't creating enough chances, that we weren't attacking enough. We were being a bit more of a back for a counter-attacking team, and against Burnley we proved that wasn't the case. We can play in the front foot, and it's just when Chelsea kind of were taking their chances, so they took the foot off the gas, got a bit complacent, and it was a really bad goal. It was a good goal from Burnley to score, but it was really bad from Chelsea considering how we normally defend. The ball was put into the box far too easily. A feature was just, you should not be leaving the striker, free in that area of the box. So it was a sucker punch, but results do like this happen in football. It's always against Burnley, but these results do happen in football. Let's be perfectly fair. You guys will do it to. You guys will definitely do it to probably United at some point this season, like you always do, or potentially to Liverpool. So it's a sucker punch, yes. It's unfortunate, but I think that's what Chelsea deserve for not taking their chances, and you can't go to sleep in the Premier League. It does show it's a fine margins. No matter what team you're playing, you can't go to sleep in a certain phases of the game, and that's what we did. And we're going with I guess.
No, it's obviously hard, Joey. I mean, going from 2 points dropped to a point gained, which to us would feel like 3 points. Obviously, I mean, not just the result, but getting that result on the back of the win against Brentford as well. It sort of has set us up for the game against Palace at the Turf. Not this Saturday due to the international break, unfortunately. But obviously, yeah. So we'll go. Obviously, we've got Patrick Vieira's men coming to the Turf.
Usually, good games against them as well.
It is. Recent years, we've had the Barnes winner in the dying minutes. But yeah, that were different football under Roy Hodgson, though, wasn't it? A lot different football. I mean, taking to this Chelsea game, obviously you said you watched it. What were your thoughts looking at it from a Burnley perspective?
Definitely lucky to get a point, but we rode our luck. It happens. We played Leeds and Brighton at home this season, and we lost both them games, and none of them deserved even a point.
No.
So swings and roundabouts, and we didn't deserve a point, but we stuck in there. We rode us luck. I think when they clip post with that header, I think if that goes in, it's game over.
Yeah, Thiago Silva with that.
Yeah, I think it were. It just clips outside at post. I think if that goes in, you're 2-0, and that's it. It could probably end up 4, maybe 5, possibly, but it didn't, thankfully. You mentioned Barkley. I thought when he went off, that gave us more freedom in midfield, to be fair. I thought he had a really good game against us, But,
he was putting himself back at window, Joey, so we can go in January.
He was showing Sean Dyche that he can defend as well, weren't he?
I think Josh would like that if we took him off Chelsea's hands.
Yeah, I don't. As I said, I think Ross Barkley played well. I think he put a really nice curl, goal from outside the box, which would have been a nice goal. I don't think he played badly. To be fair, I just don't think Ross Barkley should be starting for Chelsea Football Club compared with the players that we have. I know two of our attackers are out, which is fair enough. But Loftus-Cheek should be starting ahead of him. Mine should be ahead of him. Pulisic should be ahead of him. So it's something with Ross Barkley's performance, particularly that game. It's just he shouldn't be there. Like, he's not going to be here next season. I don't think if he continues playing well here, Chelsea will load him out in January. It's just one of those things where I just feel like he doesn't have that motivation, or that he doesn't have that drive or motivation to play, because he knows he's on the plans long term. He knows he's not going to be here beyond next season when his contract's out, and that's why I just wasn't particularly happy with him starting. Performance was good and all, but he's not playing for Chelsea. He's playing for a good move for himself, really.
No, fair play, fair point. We'll take a couple of comments. So first up, Ankit, another Chelsea fan in the house. Hope you are well. Thank you for tuning in. The missus has put a smile. 5 to go. Yeah, she is right. Literally, I am 5 away from 200. I would love it if we can get there by Christmas. I would absolutely adore you all. So thank you for the support you've shown so far. Some random Joey's popped up in chat. So hi Zoe, hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, obviously, we'll take a look at the stats for the game. So as you can see, it was a typical Burnley performance, Joey, in terms of the possession. Obviously, we've never really been that
expected. Interesting. There's only 4 shots on target. I'm sure Nick Pope made about 6 saves.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I did put these for Premier League website, but you know what it's like.
No, I've seen it all over, only 4 on target.
Yeah.
Surely that can't be right, but
I don't understand it. You've got Premier League stats, and then you've got like Opta stats, and nobody knows which one's true and which one's not. Flipping nightmare. But as you can see there, in terms of shots, Josh, you pelted us from the first whistle to the end, and it was just, as you say, that lucky break. I'm surprised we even had as many touches, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, the basis of the game, no matter what you say, it was Chelsea all over. They outpressed us. I mean, did you expect that sort of performance from Chelsea to get on the front foot early, or did you think they'd sort of sit back and sort of give Burnley a first opening 10 minutes, let them sort of run around, and then Chelsea get a foothold in the game?
No, it's kind of give me good kind of remembrance of our performances against so-called lower teams, like when Southampton came to Stamford Bridge, Mambo, and both times in the Champions League. Even when we played Southampton there in the Carabao Cup a couple of weeks back, the idea of how we were going to play was, to be in Burnley's face, was move the ball incredibly quick, move it side, get the ball into the box, keep moving Burnley about, and then make sure that Burnley didn't give Burnley any time on the ball, make sure they head it long, which I know is something Burnley are comfortable doing, but I think that Tuchel believed in the free centre back he picked that they'll be able to deal with Chris Wood, which is fair enough. So I was not surprised by the game plan. The game plan worked. I think the biggest issue for us was that wee period, that 5 minutes when Chelsea did stop what they were doing, and let Burnley get a bit of confidence, get a bit of momentum. They felt like left well to storm. They felt like they were able to start being able to maybe be a bit more progressive. That's what they did. They sent a few men forward. They got a good I think it was a good crossfield ball over to our left hand side, a good ball into the box, and then Michael Fidjo was in the right place, right time. And Chelsea were definitely a bit complacent at that point, thinking that the game was already wrapped up. So nothing wrong with the game plan. It was just a 5-minute period, which can win and lose you games. And I would say it felt like a loss, but it definitely took away a lot of positives that were in the game for Chelsea.
Definitely. I mean, Joey, look at the corners. I mean, we only had 2 all game, which shows obviously trying to get forward was obviously quite difficult. You expect it against Chelsea, of course you do, but when you look at it, they've
looking at goal. I've seen a few replays, but if you see the longer replays, there's build up to it as well. It's not just a long ball into to back sticker out.
No.
On that occasion, I know we're never going to play outplay Chelsea away. That's it's not going to happen.
No,
we know this, so we have to play to our strengths, which is mixing it up with physicality and long balls as well as shorter balls, shorter passes. We just don't have much chance against the likes of Chelsea to play that tiki-taka football. But then you watch us against Brentford last week, and we're like watching Brazil.
Speaking of Brazil, Joey, you are the nuttiest person I've ever known. So, Josh, obviously, we'll touch on the fact that, do you think Tuchel tactically got it sort of wrong? Do you think there's certain elements that he could have changed?
I don't really think so. I think maybe the only thing I would say is I think putting Mason Mount into the midfield. I think he took off Jorginho from Mason Mount. I don't think that was the right decision. I don't think Mason Mount in that kind of. It's not a holding role, so it's more of like just a proper central midfielder rather than an attack on. I don't agree with that substitution, and I think Loftus-Cheek should have came on earlier. But those are little fine margins and fine little substitutes that it could go either way. So, no, in my personal opinion, I don't think Tuchel really did anything. I don't think Tuchel did anything wrong. The players kind of dropping their performance levels on the pitch a wee bit. That all comes down to just the players, taking their foot off the gas, losing the lack of concentration. Every single football club's done it. Smash and grabs happen week in, week out. So no, Tuchel didn't do anything wrong at all. So we have no issues with that.
I mean, to flip the switch, sort of, Joey. Obviously, Sean Dyche question pretty much most weeks about substitutions, like for like. It's the wrong person you're bringing on.
He mixed it up this week, though, didn't he?
Yeah, last 2 games. I feel he's got it right. I mean, do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he even we were playing with 3 strikers. That's unheard of.
No, definitely. I didn't even know we had 3.
But no, definitely. Can't fault Sean Dyche at all. Lately, and I have in the past, especially early doors in the season, because especially when he's not making substitutions till 85th minute. But obviously, he does know better, So, can't complain. He got everything spot on. Yeah, we rode us luck, but like he says, we have to.
Of course you do.
It weren't Chelsea's day, were it? Because they did everything right, but hit the net the second time.
Yeah. Does it aggravate you, Josh, that obviously we're the first team to score from open play against you? Does that piss you off a little bit because it's Burnley?
Yeah, pretty much. I just think about I just think I'm thinking here in my head about all these previous games we've played just Stamford Bridge, the opening season under Conte when you bet us 3-2. The game under Maurizio Sarri if we won that game we would have got top 4 and you came and ruined the party. I think we bet you under Frank Lampard, but it was a really really tough game. Like you guys Sean Dyche just loves coming to Stamford Bridge. All managers love going to a certain ground, and I think Sean Dyche is definitely find one of his favourite homes. No matter what the Chelsea team is, no matter the coach, no matter if Chelsea are top, fifth, whatever, they always seem to come and get a point, and it's just the most annoying Burnley thing ever. I think as a Chelsea fan, I said on Twitter. He said the best thing. He said, "At the end of the day, no matter what, we just got Burnley."
There's no fairer comment than that. No fairer comment than that. Obviously, Burnley were Tuchel's first game as well, weren't it? When he first came in, and you got the win at that point. But it's
you were our second game. Wolves were our first one. We're during the Wolves
right.
Bridge first game.
Right. Were we the first home game then for Tuchel?
No, you were the second. You were the second. No, we played Wolves at home too. You were just our second game in general.
Right. Fair enough. Either way, we'll let you have that first one.
It was a new manager, points to be fair. So it was a new system. Hudson-Odoi was right wing back. I was afraid to back it. It was just one of his cases where Sean Dyche just did not expect Chelsea to come out and play that way. It was a case for quite a while during when Tuchel first came in. No manager had a clue how to play against Chelsea, so it was a good thing. Maybe that's what Tuchel should do. Maybe she should have just played a 4-2-4 against Sean Dyche, throw him off target. Maybe that would have got a result or something. I don't know.
It's always tough, isn't it? Always tough. Chelsea, Burnley. I love it. I used to think, every time we go to the bridge, it'd be difficult. As I say, going there as a fan of Burnley when they were in the Championship, the cup win on penalties. To be honest, I've only been to Stamford Bridge twice, which was the cup win on penalties and the 3-2 on the opening day of the season. So
you need to go again.
I picked a couple of good games. I might do. I might have to go all the way around London and see if we can have another capital punishment run. But who knows? While we are here, guys, if you are new around here, as you can see, we are not just doing these match previews on YouTube. We are also doing them via podcast. So you can catch this on a podcast at the end of the stream. And we are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. So taking that game aside, obviously news has come out today of that Eddie Howe's been confirmed at Newcastle. Obviously, Joey will know about his time at Burnley, that it was always a manager that if they score 4, we'll score 5. His defensive qualities weren't there, were they, really?
No, which was surprising. I think he were a defender, were he not?
Yeah.
We weren't great defensively. That literally was his theory, wasn't it? It don't matter how many you score, we'll score one more.
Yeah. Yeah, and what do you think of the move, Josh? Obviously, yes, he's had his luck with Bournemouth. He didn't. To be fair, when he came to us, we'd just dropped out of the Premier League, or we'd been out of the Premier League a season, something like that. And obviously, he's come out now and said that the reason why he went back down was due to the death of his mum. But a lot of Burnley fans saw it as he just, one of those, a southern fairy that doesn't like it when it gets too cold up north. That's what we used to sort of think. So how the bloody hell he's going to fare in the northeast? I don't know. What do you think of the appointment?
I think it's a gamble for Newcastle. Don't get me wrong, Eddie Howe what he did with Bournemouth was a really, really good job, and that shouldn't be discredited. But you look at Bournemouth. Bournemouth were a team that struggled. They went through a lot of difficult periods every single league in the Premier League. They always had a quick start, but as the season gone on, Eddie Howe's team always struggled, and they always conceded a lot of goals. He's never been known to be a manager who's been able to set up a team defensively. So like anytime he played any against the big teams, they never sat back, they never come back. They went out and attacked teams, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. He's just not a manager who I think he's going to make Newcastle tough to beat. Now, you look at what Steve Bruce and Graham Jones did. You know, Newcastle were so defensive; it was unreal. Like every man was behind the ball, and they were never ever on the front foot. It's going to be opposite Eddie Howe, and the transition that he's going to have to make mid-season to get this team playing the way he wants to is massive, and they don't have much room to experiment. They don't have much room to get things together. So I feel like this is probably the worst appointment in terms of a mid-season one you can make, because Eddie Howe isn't going to adapt to this Newcastle team. The Newcastle are going to have to adapt to him and his playing style, and I just, for some reason, I just feel like he's opening a few games. Newcastle are really going to struggle. He needs to get certain players on form. He needs to drop Cardollo. They need to get Martin DeBracca back in goal first and foremost. He needs to find a good partnership. He needs to ditch the five at the back. I think we'll see a 4-4-2 because he did play 4-4-2 a lot at Bournemouth. I think that'll be the formation we'll see him go with at Newcastle. But I just don't know. For me, it's a risk. His defensive aspect of the game just isn't there, and when you're bottom of the league, low on confidence, 0 wins to the start of the Premier League, you need a good defence and a good foundation to work off, and he's not the type of manager. When Bournemouth were struggling, he did not change it. He didn't say, right, we're going to be a bit more compact, we're going to try and build a solid foundation off. He stuck to his ways, and if he does that at Newcastle, he very easily could get relegated because it just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just something just doesn't sit right with me because I just don't think he's the man to get a team out of a relegation fight because of the way he plays, and that's a big risk. And I think he's been given a contract to 2024 as well. So if he does get relegated, it's either going to be a massive payout or a big ask for him to get Newcastle back up from the Championship if they do go down. So it's a big risk, but I think the Newcastle owners really shot themselves in the foot with how slow and long and unprepared they were to get a new manager in after Steve Bruce was sacked. So I do think it works both ways in this case.
No, definitely. I mean, obviously, Joey, do you feel for we fear because in a way, this new consortium have come in at Newcastle. They're a team that are expected to be in and around us, in the past couple of seasons. We all know the January window is always a tough window, but when people know Newcastle have the money, have they sort of took a cheap punt with Eddie Howe and hope that it saves money for something more in the transfer window?
I don't think they've took a cheap punt. Were he not 5th choice or something like that?
Won't surprise me.
Were there not 4 managers already turned them down, and then they've gone to him? So I don't think it's the cheap option, but I think it's the wrong option. I don't think he's gonna, I don't, like Josh says, he's not defensively minded, and I don't think he's going to be able to get that into the team quick enough either. Give as much money as you want in January. He's got to bring them players in and get them to do what he wants anyway. It could well be too late by then.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
I bloody hope so. I mean, it is a tough one. I agree with you two. I do think that it's the wrong appointment. It's almost, as you say, similar. It's a similar move to the Steve Bruce move. It's almost like you've just brought somebody else in, but because they've had a bit more success with one club, people are starting to think he may be the man to turn the fortunes.
They brought him in summer. He may well have done.
Yeah, we could be sat here eating our words in a couple of, couple of months. We really could. I mean, I'll hold my hand up. I thought Patrick Vieira going in at Palace, that we're going to fail. I thought Graham Potter, for all the style of football he has at Brighton, that we're going to do him over this season. They could be contenders for going down. Yeah. But, these things happen. Football is a funny game. Who thought Dean Smith would get sacked? That's after the money he spent. It's, speaking of sack.
To be fair, Dan,
Go on, Josh.
When you did our very first the video on my channel about the preseason, I said Dean Smith would be the first manager to get sacked. So it wasn't the first manager to get sacked, but I knew he wasn't going to survive this season, so I did.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You should be happy with that. I mean, I'd be happy with the fact that who goes in at Villa, who goes in at Norwich, even. That's another one. Who goes in at Norwich? Who's willing to say, no problem, I'll step up here and be able to keep
the Premier League? Because he's just mutually agreed to leave Borough, hasn't he?
Has he?
I think that was yesterday, because could see Warnock at Norwich.
No, I actually seen some really. The favourite for the Norwich job is one guy who I really, really don't want to take the job. It's Frank Lampard. I just think I don't want Lampard. I just can't see Lampard getting Norwich out of that. No, I do think Lampard's a good manager, and I think it was too big of a time.
I can't see Lampard even taking that job, to be honest.
The only reason I could see Lampard taking it is if he's given reinsurance. Is that if Norwich do go down, he can stay and get a chance to get them up. If that's the case, he'll take the job because it's a young squad. He'll be able to get certain loanees in. Billy Gilmore's there. Like that's the type of job Lampard wants, is to work with a young squad. But if he's giving up reinsurance, he'll take it. But it's a big risk for an inexperienced manager to go into that Norwich side and say, right, try and keep us up, because again, very similar to Eddie Howe, I just don't think he would have the defensive ability to make sure Norwich are compact. They've got a foundation to work off. I don't really think Lampard's ready for a job like that. I feel like Neil Warnock would be a perfect, like a Neil Warnock or a Big Sam or God forbid Alan Powell ever gets another Premier League job. That's the type of job. That's the type of manager Norwich should be looking for. If Lampard gets it, I'd be happy. But I just don't really.
You'll be happy because it's just another shitload of flaming Chelsea loanees that he's going to bring in and hopefully turn into first team players in the season or two.
He would play Billy Gilmore. That would make me happy enough. Yes.
Obviously, Joey. I mean, you look at what Villa have done. Technically, they shouldn't even be in the Premier League with all the flaming the. Sheffield United being aggrieved a goal, and they shouldn't have, the watch being off or whatever.
I mean, they are.
But they have spent money as well, though, haven't they? They've spent a lot of money. Yeah. Obviously, they put the money back in from selling Grealish. Again, this sort of leaves me in a sense of what Newcastle have done. Appointing Eddie Howe. Is Eddie Howe going to go in there, be given a flaming war chest to spend? And, going back to that stat you sent me earlier, Joey, the fact that when Eddie Howe was at Burnley, who he brought in? Charlie Austin, Trippier and Ben Mee for less than $1 million.
Danny Ings, yeah.
Danny Ings, yeah.
Trippier and Ben Mee for a combined total of $1 million.
I mean, back then, that's incredible. Don't get me wrong, that's amazing. But, we had to wait 3 seasons before we saw the emergence of Danny Ings because, we still had Charlie Austin.
Yeah.
We'd only just signed Ashley Barnes in the January window. So it had sort of been a bit of a difficult one for him to sort of come in, and he were only a young lad at the time. But
he were. Obviously, he's matured a lot. He'll have learned a hell of a lot in his time at Bournemouth, and the time in the Premier League. And I just don't think he's the right manager for Newcastle. And any team in the position that they're in to come and keep that team up, I don't think he would.
No. As I say, is Newcastle are very defensive minded, and if he's going to go in and sort of upset that, it could pay off massively. But then, how does it work going forward?
Right balance. I mean, that's what he's got to do.
The thing is also, Eddie Howe, he turned down the Celtic job. He's turned down quite a few jobs down before Newcastle, and there was a massive disagreement because Newcastle want Graham Jones, which I think it hasn't been officially confirmed. But Newcastle wanted to keep Graham Jones, the caretaker manager, on the coaching staff, and I think Eddie Howe disagreed with it. I think that's why there was such a
Eddie Howe wanted to take Jason Tindall with him, didn't he?
Well, Jason Tindall was at the Brighton game, so he'll be there. But I think Graham Jones wants a big part in the say of the tactics. He specifically said he doesn't want to be the guy who's laying out the cones. So I feel like there was a bit of a connection. And if there is an issue between what Graham Jones and Eddie Howe are doing on the coaching, that could also affect. But there is just something about this. About the show, and if I'm not mistaken, it was a clause because Unai Emery came out and said this. There was a clause in Emery's contract for Newcastle. If Newcastle went down, Emery's contract would be terminated. So I'll be interested to see. I'll be interested to see if that's an Eddie Howe's one too, because given how big of a contract he's been given, so it is a risk. But I think what it is safe to say. Saying all this is that disappointment comes down to one simple thing, and that is inexperienced football owners not really knowing what to do in a situation like this. I think that's how long it took, the managers they went through, the issue of the backroom staff, and also again a manager who's not really a guy who you see as a guy who can take a struggling relegation team out of the relegation zone. I feel like it comes down to inexperienced ownership, which isn't too surprising, but it could very easily come back to haunt Newcastle in a couple of weeks' time.
Definitely. So, Josh, obviously we've got the rewind. We have got obviously the international break this weekend, which obviously won't even get into that because it's a very mixed bag of what people like. Some people like the break. Some people completely detest it, but we won't go there with that. But once we get back to some proper football, as we like to call it, who is it you guys have got next?
Yeah, this is the really ugly thing. Chelsea are away to Leicester at 12:30 on the Saturday, coming back from the international break, which an early kick-off on a Saturday after an international break on the road against Leicester. It could get harder. You could be away to Manchester City or away to Manchester United. Away to Burnley. Away for a while. But yes, that's gonna be a really difficult game. I will say, kind of now, I would take a point. I take a draw in that game. I think, especially the South, especially like if Mendy and Thiago Silva and Christian Pulisic all be coming back late because they'll be coming from America and all of that stuff. So I would probably take a point from that game. Only players are coming back fit too, like Lukaku, Kovacic, Werner. So I would take a point in that game because 12:30 kickoffs on a Saturday. If it's either after a Champions League fixture or after an international break, it's nasty. It's such a quick turnaround. You can barely get anything done on the training pitch. It's all about recovery and fitness and and being careful with your players. So yeah, I would take a draw in that game. Leicester are going to have more time to be prepared for that game with less players going away. So yeah, I don't particularly look forward to that game.
It's definitely a tough one as well because you don't know what sort of Leicester side you're going to get this season. I've spoke to Chris from Leicester Till I Die TV, and he said that Brendan Rodgers doesn't have a plan B. It's sort of he sticks to that plan and that's it. So I don't know. It's going to make for an interesting game. A week being the early kickoff, obviously we'll all be watching. Probably in the pubs prior to our 3:00 kickoff, Joey, against Palace at the Turf. I mean, what do you make of that one?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Like I said, they're usually decent games. I expect us to go at them from the offset, being the home team, and I think we'll be confident enough to think, we can take this game. I can't see us sitting back, so I think it should be a good game, and I think we'll win as well.
Ooh, bold statement. Yeah. Bold statement.
Not just, I'll tell you a score near it at time, but no, I do. I think we'll win.
You'll tell me the score at 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So, no, honestly, thank you guys for coming on and giving your input to the match review. Sorry. Obviously, as we've said, it was Chelsea 1, Burnley 1. Sorry to bring it up against Josh. But it just is what it is. It's there. It's there in black and white, mate. You can't change it now. So thanks both of you for coming on. Obviously, Josh, where can people find you again? And let us know. Let us know what you've got planned.
If anybody's interested in my channel is JFCH on YouTube and then JWSCH_CFC on Twitter. So I've got my relaunch on my YouTube channel coming this week. I've been speaking to a few people on Twitter trying to get weekly podcast arranged and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into too much full detail yet because I'm still working on it myself. But yes, I've got the relaunch of my channel is coming this week, so I look forward to getting back into it.
Happy days. So yeah, guys, do please check out Josh's channel, and it's in the link is in the description. So please do go give him a sub, and obviously look out for that new content. And Joey, I'm sure you'll be posting a load of shit all over Facebook. So go on, why don't you let us know what you've got going on?
Yeah, just on Facebook, it's the Long Size. So just search that. It's a good group. Get yourselves on it and have a laugh and just enjoy.
Happy days. I love that. So laid back.
Don't be searching me on Facebook because that will be a load of crap.
It will. All those police incident reports.
Sounds to be a fan finger. If only my life was that exciting.
So no, thank you for tuning in. Obviously, guys, do go check out the Long Side on Facebook, especially if you're Burnley fans around here. It's always great to build up the platforms. As I say, according to Katapedia, as I call her, instead of Wikipedia, because she seems to know everything. We are only 5 away from 200, so please do support us. But again, thank you guys for coming on and giving your input. Obviously, hopefully we will grab 3 points against Crystal Palace, and for Josh's sake and him letting us get the point. Hopefully you get 3 points against Leicester as well, buddy. Don't worry about it. Fingers crossed that'll come off. But thanks again to everyone here. Obviously, as you can see down below, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, all under @TurfMoreHouse. And as I've said twice already, we are also on your podcasts. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and we will be coming to more at some point. So do stay tuned. Other than that, thank you very much, guys, for being here. It's really nice. If anybody has enjoyed the reviews, please do let us know, because this may become a new regular, bit of content at the end of matches to see how pissed off people really are. It's sometimes best when it's raw straight after the game, but sometimes it gives people a bit of a chance to calm down, but lets them sort of, once you've come off camera, go, I can't believe I've had to talk about it again, bastard. Sorry, Josh.
I'm a nice guy. You always know when you're back in when you're playing Burnley, these things can happen, so you mentally prepare yourself for it. So I'm used to it. You guys have done it to us so many times. I think at this point I'm just like,
I think it's 3 draws and a win in his last 7 visits to Stamford Bridge. Not bad.
No, not bad at all.
You guys are going to keep doing it as long as you're in the Premier League. As long as we don't have to play in a cup game, I can take those draws. I beg, do it to Man United Old Trafford again, please, because I would honestly just love that. That'd be the best thing ever.
We'll do our best, mate. I promise we'll do our best. But remember, Josh, just remember. They say things come in threes, mate. They say things come in threes.
If it does happen, then I will come on your channel and do a very embarrassing dance. Right, there you go.
There you go, clipped. So again, guys, thank you for tuning in. It does mean a lot. As I say, please do show everybody's channels and content on Facebook some support. I've been Dan. He's been Joey. He's been Josh. And thank you very much for watching. Up the Clarets, and yeah, go on, Chelsea, get 3 points against Leicester. Why not?